Hello, good day everyone. I'm Shamin Omar Saliling and I am your student teacher for today's video. So before we start with our topic, please answer this scramble words. Okay, if you want to participate, you can just pause this video. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this scramble words. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time is up. So these are the correct answer. I hope everyone got the correct answer, okay? So as you notice, there's a word polynomial here, right? Or your number. So our topic, or our lesson for today's video is all about polynomials and polynomial equation. So before we can understand what polynomials are, we need to learn about mathematicians called terms. In algebra, terms are mathematical expressions that are made up of two different parts, the variable parts and the number parts. So in term that the number part and the variable part are multiplied together, but since multiplication is implied in algebra, the two parts of the term are usually written right next to each other with no times symbol between them. So the number part is a pretty simple. It's just a number like 2 or 5 or 1.4. And the number part has an official name. It's called the coefficient. So the variable part of the term is more complicated. It can be made up of one or more variables that are raised to a power. Like the variable part could be x raised to 2 or x squared. So that is raised to the power, or the variable part of some term could be some tricky combinations of variable that are raised to a power like x squared, x squared times y squared, or a times b squared times c squared. And if you have a term like 6y, even though it could be fine to do the multiplications the other way around and write y6, it's conventional to always write the number part of the term first and the variable part of the term second. So that's the basic part of the term. So polynomial is a combination of many terms. It's kind of like a chain of terms that are all linked together using addition or subtraction, and terms themselves contain multiplications, but each term in a polynomial must be joined by either addition or subtraction. So specific name for polynomials, if there is only one term, we call this monomial, because mono means one. And if there is just two terms, we call it binomial, because the word bi is two. So, and if it's three terms, we call it trinomial, because the word tri is three. And beyond the three, we call it polynomial, since poly means many. So we have equation here, 3x squared plus x minus 5. So how many terms does the polynomials have? Okay, right. You're right. We have three terms here, right? We have 3x squared plus x minus 5. So we have 3 terms. So let's try to solve this equation. So we have x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So our target here is to solve for the value of x. So as you can see, we have 4 terms, right? So let's check first if we can solve it by factoring and grouping. So how? So just get the ratio like this. Since x, we have x cubed plus 3, so 1 is to 3. Then negative 4x minus 12, so the ratio here is the negative 4 is to 12. So if you simplify this, it's just the same to 1 is to 3. So since the ratio is equal, it is possible for us to solve this one by grouping. So let's group the polynomial equation. Let's just divide it into 2 terms. So we have x cubed plus 3x squared times negative 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So as you notice, the equation has a common monomial factor, which is x squared. So let's just put the x squared outside the parenthesis and multiply it. X cubed plus 3x squared divide x squared. So we have x plus 3. Then here sa kabila, so just put the negative 4 outside the parenthesis and negative 4x minus 12 all over negative 4. So cancel. We have x minus 3 equals to 0. So copy this one. Negative 4 x minus 3 equals to 0. So after that, get the common factor, which is the x plus 3. So x plus 3 times x squared minus 4 equals to 0. Then let's factor the x squared minus 4. So the factor of x squared minus 4 is x minus 2 times x plus 2 equals to 0. Then copy the x plus 3. So our x is x equals to negative 3. So how we get the negative 3? Just write it. X plus 3 equals to 0 and transpose the positive 3. So negative 3. Then we have x minus 2. X minus 2 equals to 0. So x equals to positive 2. And x plus 2 equals to 0. So x equals to negative 2. So these are the possible roots of equation x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. Let's have another example. So we have x cubed minus 7x plus 6 equals to 0. So it has also 3 roots, but here we will not use the factoring by grouping because we just have 3 terms. So we will just use the synthetic division. So let's do the trial and error first. Let's get the factor of 6. So we have positive 1, negative 1, positive 2, negative 2, positive 3, and negative 3, and positive 6 and negative 6. So let's try the positive 1 first. Um, 1. So we put 1 here because we only have 1x cubed. Then 0 because we don't have x squared. Then negative 7 because it's 7x, negative 7x, and last one is 6. So bring down 1 first, then multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. Add 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 1 times 1 again is 1. Add negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6. Then negative 6 times 1 is negative 6 plus negative 6 is 0. So since our remainder is 0, therefore 1 is the root of x cubed minus 7x plus 6 equals to 0. So let's write it in a factor. So our x is positive 1, right? So just transpose it. So that's why we have x minus 1. So since we have x squared, so x cubed, so x cubed minus 1. So we have x squared. We have x squared. And since 1 here, this number here is 1, so that's positive, or add x plus x, then minus 6x equals to 0. So as you notice, our second factor is a quadratic. So let's factor the x squared plus x minus 6, this one. So we get this x plus 3 and x minus 2 equals to 0. Just copy the x minus 1. So our x is x equals to positive 1, x equals to negative 3, and x equals to positive 2. Why? Just write like this: x minus 1 equals to 0, then transpose x equals to 1, and so on.